Let's look at some examples of adding and subtracting rational expressions. So our first example will be negative 10 over 4x minus 16 plus x plus 1 over 2x minus 8. Our first step will be to factor the denominators. So looking at our denominators, and our first one, we're going to look for our greatest common factor. I have 4x and negative 16. Our greatest common factor is a 4. We can factor that out. And we're left with x minus 4 going in the parentheses. And in our second denominator, if we look at 2x and negative 8, our GCF is 2. When we factor that out, we have x minus 4. Our numerators stay the same. Then our second step will be to find the LCD, which stands for least common denominator. So our LCD, we're going to go across the different denominators and take the different factors that we need. Now first, 4 can be written using prime factors as 2 squared. And I do need 2 to the power of 2 in my least common denominator. I also need an x minus 4 in my least common denominator. So that's everything in my first denominator. Let's go over to the second one. I have a 2, but I already have a 2, and I have 2 of them, so I don't need another one. I already have an x minus 4, so I have everything I need in my LCD. I'm going to multiply out the 2 squared and get 4, but I don't need to distribute. In fact, if I don't, it'll be easier to see at the end if I have common factors to cancel. So I'm going to leave my LCD as 4 times the quantity of x minus 4. So now let's convert our fractions so they have this least common denominator. Now this first fraction already had that as our denominator, so I don't need to change my numerator. It stays as a negative 10. Now for my second fraction, to go from 2 times x minus 4 to 4 times x minus 4 in my denominators, I need to multiply by 2, which means I also need to multiply my numerator by 2. So my numerator becomes 2 times x plus 1. Let's simplify that a little bit. So my first fraction stays the same, negative 10 over 4 times x minus 4. And my second fraction becomes 2x plus 2 over x minus 4. Okay, now we will add the numerators. So I'm going to combine them into one fraction. I have negative 10 plus 2x plus 2. Let's combine our like terms. So I only have one term with an x, so I have my 2x. Then I have my negative 10 plus 2, which gives me negative 8. And then finally, and I'm going to give myself a little room to work, we'll look at canceling common factors. So in order to do that, I may need to now factor my numerator. So looking at our terms, we have a 2x and a negative 8. We have a greatest common factor. We can factor out a 2. When we do that, we're left with x minus 4. And we still have our denominator of 4 times x minus 4. So now we can see that our x minus 4's can cancel out. We're left with 2 over 4. I could have done this in the same step, but I wanted to do it separately. But here we have 2 and 4. We can cancel out 2. So in the numerator, I'm left with 1. In the denominator, I'm left with 2. And now this simplifies to 1/2. So our original expression simplifies to 1/2. Let's look at a second example. So here we have x minus 4 over x squared plus 2x minus 8 minus x plus 2 over x squared minus 16. So now we're subtracting. Steps are basically the same, but now instead of adding, we're subtracting. We're going to factor the denominators. So in our first denominator, if I put negative 8 at the top of my x and 2 at the bottom of my x, I'm looking for numbers that multiply to negative 8 and add to positive 2. It's going to be 4 and negative 2. So my denominator factors to x plus 4 times x minus 2. Still have my x minus 4 at the top. And in my second fraction, I still have my numerator of x plus 2. And in my denominator, I have a difference of 2 perfect squares. So I can set up my 2 parentheses. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 16 is 4. One parenthesis gets a plus, the other one gets a minus. So now I have my denominators factored. Second step, let's find the LCD, the least common denominator. So let's go across my denominators. In my first one, I have an x plus 4. I need that in my LCD. My next factor is an x minus 2. I need that in my LCD. Okay, I've got everything in my first denominator. Let's go to my second one. I have an x plus 4, but I already have that. I don't need it again. Now I have an x minus 4. I need that in my LCD. So my LCD is the product of x plus 4 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. So let's convert our fractions so they have our LCD. So for my first fraction, the additional factor in my denominator is this x minus 4. So that's what I needed to multiply my old denominator by to get my new denominator. So that's what I also need to multiply my numerator by. So my new numerator becomes x minus 4 times x minus 4. And in my second fraction, my additional factor in the denominator is the x minus 2. So to get from my old denominator to my new denominator, I need to multiply by x minus 2. And that's what I'll also need to multiply my numerator by. So my numerator becomes x minus 2 times x plus 2. Okay, so let us multiply. So my numerator, when I simplify that, I get x squared minus 8x plus 16. In my second fraction, when I multiply out x minus 2 times x plus 2, I get x squared minus 4. So now we will subtract the numerators. So I'm going to write it as one fraction with the denominator of x plus 4 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. I'm going to start writing my first numerator, x squared minus 8x plus 16. I'm subtracting. And I like to do subtraction by distributing the negative and then adding my terms. When I distribute the negative to my second fraction, my numerator becomes negative x squared plus 4. So that's why I'm going to write in my new fraction, I'm going to have negative x squared plus 4. And now I can combine the terms in my numerator. So my x squared and my negative x squared cancel out. I'm left with negative 8x. And then I have 16 plus 4, which is 20. So I have negative 8x plus 20 over the denominator of x plus 4 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. And then we will cancel common factors if we have any. So to do that, we do need to see if we can factor our numerator. The denominator stays the same. So in my numerator, if I look at negative 8x and 20, I have a greatest common factor of 4, but because that first term is negative, I'll also factor out the negative. So I'll factor out negative 4. When I do that, I have 2x minus 5 in parentheses, but I don't see any common factors that will cancel. So this is my final answer. I could have left it like I did on the left, but the right is just as fine as well. So my final answer that I'm leaving it at is negative 4 times the parentheses of 2x minus 5 all over the product of x plus 4 times x minus 2 times x minus 4.